Yeah. Let's get my Sprite. Get my Sprite ready and get ready to go live here. Let's see what we can do. See if we can get something going this Sunday morning. Hopefully we can. Hopefully we can get a few guys in here. It's 9 o'clock. Just flipped over to 9. Hopefully we can get a few people started here. Hey, Kevin, how are you? Glad to see you here bright and early this morning. Where are you located today, Kevin? Are you out on the road or are you back home? Yeah. I've been watching some of that these Twitter files coming in, showing how bad the government's been editing everybody and censoring people. Hey, Joy. Dixon, Tennessee. Well, you're not too far from me. If you're over in Tennessee, I'm over here in North Carolina, so you're closer now than you usually are. Did I get your text? I don't know if I did or not, Joy. When did you send it? Hey, Jamie. When did you send the text? I can't check it right now because I'm using the iPhone as a camera, as a webcam. Hey, AgTech. Haven't seen you here in a while. Yeah, you've been busy, I guess, on the farms and everything. Of course, harvest and everything should be. Of course, I don't know if it's busy for you or busier for you now or in the spring and everything, but you're probably working on a lot of things that have been broken down over the harvest season, haven't you? Yeah, I'm just in here, just enjoying the morning and everything here at the house. I hope the signal's good. Is the signal good, guys? Give me a thumbs up if it is. I'm trying to get a good signal from my house. So far, so good. Last couple of times have been pretty good. Yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, I've been trying to maximize my signal and the camera and everything else to get it. Well, on the text, Joy, is it anything you can type in now, or is it something private? Doesn't ever slow down, does it? Well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. As long as they're letting you work and you're staying busy and everything else, you can't beat that. I mean, it's hard to beat somebody that's busy year round. I liked having that. That's better than having peaks and valleys and everything. Hey, Walter. Okay, good. The signal's good. Yeah, that's good enough to know that I didn't shave good this morning. I can see my old beard here. I didn't shave good this morning. I got in a hurry, washed my hair and everything. Didn't have time to shave good. Kind of hit at it with the electric a little bit, but just kind of grubby this morning a little bit. Oh, okay. So you're getting some snow up there, are you? Yeah. I saw where Mike went up and helped Andrew the other day, Joey. Did you see that? Mike went up there and helped Andrew get his road through a little bit. Looks like they did pretty good. Hey, Chris, how are you this morning? I hope you're doing good out there in Kansas. Y'all going to be getting some snow before long, aren't you? Looks like there's a storm coming across the Midwest and everything. Nah, I probably need a plastic surgeon as much as I do a makeup artist, Jamie. Yeah. Yeah. I saw the video where Mike went up and helped Andrew. Of course, I don't know if they're going to be real happy. I noticed. I believe Mike ran over his drone, didn't he, or something like that? Oh, you're not getting anything, boy. We've had plenty of. We've had rain here all week long. It's overcast today and everything. Whew, wait a minute. I'm about to sneeze, guys. Yeah. Yeah. I saw that. Yeah. I hope Andrew was needing a new drone. Yeah. But I think Mike didn't see it and they were filming it or whatever. And it must have hit something, fell down, and Mike ran right over it or something. So there goes $2,000. But Mike looked like he went up there and helped him a good bit. So he probably got his money's worth on his on the grading work and everything. Mike does good work. Yeah, I know it. Yeah, they Andrew, he's been blasting the side of a mountain up. He's got a lot of work up there to do. Are you back in Gloucester? And doing an injection. Okay. Keeping them dry up there in Gloucester too, are you? Yeah. 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 Mike's always pretty hyper, isn't he? Yeah, he's a go-getter. Yeah. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, for those who don't are not following what Joey and I are talking about, we're talking Dirt Boss Mike, uh, and he, he Dirt Boss is on here occasionally when he catches me live and everything occasionally. But he was up helping Andrew Camarada because I don't think they live that far apart, and he went up there and helped him with his road and everything. I don't know if y'all saw the channel. If you check Dirt Boss's channel, he's got it on there with him helping Andrew, and Andrew hadn't put it up yet. I don't know. Well, it's cold there. I bet so. It's chilly here. We're not cold. I think we're about, well, it's cold to us. I'm 40. I think it's about 40 something degrees this morning. But yeah, that's cold enough for me. Well, Kevin, what you picking up in Tennessee this morning? Yeah, well, Walter, how's the weather up where you're at? You're about to get some bad weather too, aren't you? I know all this is being. I've been watching the weather. I was looking at the weather out in Denver. 29 there, huh? Phew. Y'all keep that cold weather. We're going to probably have a colder winter here than usually. Martin Broner. I don't know what is Michael Broner. Is that a big company? I've never heard of that. Yeah, I don't. I'm not familiar with that company. What kind of stuff is that? Of course, I'm so working with FedEx all those years. I never really saw the shippers per se. Occasionally, I would go out to some. Oh, they do McDonald's. Okay, it's going to rain up there, is it? Okay, well, rain up your way is probably cold and messy. we've been having the rain down here. We've had rain all week long. I mean, it's rained, not real heavy rains, but we've had rain all week long, and it looks overcast and cloudy, like it's going to rain, here today, but it's not raining right now. Martin Browner. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm not. What do they do for McDonald's and everything? Do they do some of their supplies and stuff? I'm not familiar. I know what's the big restaurant uh, supplier down here? I'm trying to think of it. Oh crap, slips my mind now. There's a big chain that does all the restaurants around here. I'm trying to think what the name of it is, but they do a lot of the meats and everything else. Gosh, I can't even think of it now. Well, they do all the deliveries from McDonald's. Okay, so what were you taking? Were you taking some? You're taking some supplies for them, packaging supplies probably, or something like that. You really never know what some of these places do. I mean, it's always surprising. Okay, yeah, yeah, that's what you get into sometimes. I mean, I know you'd be surprised. A lot of people would be of what is built in their area, or what uh, what's manufactured and shipped everywhere else. I mean, that's like a lot of people that mess with toolboxes and stuff like that. You don't realize there's a company called Keter, Keter. They manufacture a lot of stuff. Now they've got a manufacturing plant just a few miles from here, about 10 miles from here, and they used to do a lot of storage up here at Cherryville. Where they make lawn furniture, they make this plastic lawn furniture, and they make toolboxes for like these Milwaukee pack outs and all these other different things like that. They make that, and uh, uh, just all kind of plastic storage buildings. A lot of neat stuff, and that's just manufactured not too far from here. And then we've got a lot of airline parts. We got Curtis Wright Flight. I did that backwards. Curtis Wright was actually a partner with the Wright. The Curtis was with the Wright brothers, and they started a manufacturing years ago, and it's right over here at Shelby. Oh, you picked up the packaging in Chicago, and then offloaded it up down in Tennessee. Yeah, yeah, it's surprising. I'd like to see more manufacturing like that come to uh, back to the U.S. I mean, we're seeing loads and loads of these uh, all these things that are offshore. I mean, all of our medicine. It just surprises me that all these pharmaceuticals are made overseas, because it's not cheap enough to make over here. They send it overseas, and we got China doing all kind of crap like that for us. We've got just too much manufacturing that's done overseas, and we've got to bring that back home. I mean, that's one of the things that just really irritates me, that manufacturing has been shipped overseas, and we didn't do it overnight, but we kept doing more and more and more of it. And it's just amazing how much manufacturing is done overseas. And then when we get a little bit of disruption in the supply chain, it devastates us. And so for us we need to be more energy efficient, and we need to have our manufacturing brought back. I mean, we can't wait. I mean, if we get into a conflict with somebody like China, we're screwed. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's good. I mean, we've got to get manufacturing back home. Well, that's exactly right, Chris. I mean, you look around. I mean, the best way to look at it is look around your local area and see what has gone away. I mean, in the Carolinas years ago, we used to manufacture tons of textiles and furniture. We used to be the furniture king in North Carolina. I mean, we had Broyhill, Thomasville, uh, High Point Furniture, everything. All the furniture shows used to be down here in North Carolina, and we don't have any of that anymore. It's all Chinese made stuff now. But I mean, if you look at your old furniture, if you go look at old furniture and any kind of antique store, and you look at a label on it, it probably came from North Carolina. I mean, that was how prevalent we were in the furniture manufacturing for years. I mean, yeah, most of y'all probably uh, remember hearing the name, and I still think they still have the names of some of these, like Broyhill and Thomasville and High Point and a few other, and that's High Point and Thomasville is the name of two towns in North Carolina, but they did that. Now we still manufacture some things in Thomasville. We got buses. We're big on school buses in this area. The Thomas Built Bus is one of the nationwide bus builders. Uh, them and Bluebird. Uh, so those are still made in North Carolina. At least a lot of them are, and so you got some of that manufacturing still in this area. But we've got a lot of things. Of course, we have Freightliner that's big time in this area too. We've got several Freightliner plants that do real well, and things like that. But there's a lot of manufacturing that's just moved away, and that makes it hard on the U.S. I mean, and even look at Detroit and everything. How much is gone away from Detroit? Of course, uh, yeah, Electrolux. Yeah, that sucks, doesn't it? Of course, that's an old joke, Walter. Yeah. Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to lean over here and get me a Kleenex. Uh, but yeah, we have got to get manufacturing rerouted back to the U.S. and we've got to get oil production back up. I mean, good gosh, I mean we could be selling natural gas over to the European countries, and instead they're having to buy it from Russia, who turns around and uses the funding from that fuel to fuel the war against Ukraine. Oh, yeah, I know it. It is. They do keep. I mean, we've got to be able to change the Democratic stranglehold. I mean, I'm all for a two-party system. I mean, you got to have the Democrats keep the Republicans in check, and the Republicans keep the Democrats in check. But when you've got the Democrat that has got too much of a stranglehold right now, and we're seeing that they've even got it politicized into the FBI, CIA, and the justice system right now, whereas the Democratic Party is controlling those too. I mean, it's pathetic. It's pathetic what we've got right now uh, with Merrick Garland, the way he's politicized the Department of Justice and everything. Uh, it's pathetic. Yeah, well, I mean, and that's what's happening to a lot of places. I mean, the industry, when the industry leaves, I mean, the people have got to have a place to work. I mean, we all can't work in a warehouse shipping stuff out. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're always going to look to do something cheaper. Uh, but we've got to make it more advantageous, either get some tax breaks or something, in which all the ultra liberals think you can't do, but you got to. You got to give them incentive tax breaks to bring stuff back to the United States, or put some of it in Mexico to keep the Mexican population down there. I mean, I don't care. We've got a crazy mixed up situation. We've got to get it back into the U.S. I mean, thank goodness Texas is being very progressive and luring manufacturing away from and businesses away from California, which I look for Twitter to move out to Texas before long. I mean, good gracious, Elon Musk went in there and he has uh, he's gotten rid of a bunch of these Twitter. What about 80% of them, 70 or 80% of the Twitter employees didn't need them. I mean, if there's been a lot of TikTok videos and everything else, how easy those people had it. I mean, they just looked like they just showed up and got free lunches, and he did away with his cafe stuff. I saw that. I was listening to Leo Laporte, and he was talking about that Elon has got a big auction coming up where he's auctioning off all this extra equipment that they had at Twitter, foosballs tables. Uh, he had this restaurant, a big gourmet, not just a restaurant, but a gourmet restaurant inside of Twitter that they used to feed all the people. They said that they were spending $11 million a year feeding those people. I mean, they had all this uh, fancier coffee than Starbucks, and they had all these lattes and coffee machines and then all the gourmet restaurants and everything else inside of Twitter and feeding all those people free. And that was their incentive to work there, along with the fact that they didn't even work, half of them. No, building it cheaper is not always better. That's for sure. And we've got to get back to that mindset too. Let's build a better product. Now, Germany has got, they build a good product and they keep theirs there. They're tooling and dyeing and, stuff like that. They manufacture a lot of machines and a lot of equipment out of Germany, and they don't offshore as much as we do probably. And they're known for their, quality equipment. Oh, good gracious! Now that's the other thing. We're taxing working people to death, Jamie. I mean, yeah, it's crazy. Oh, did you, Mark? Well, that's great. I'm glad you got the. Did you tell him you talked to me? Now I hope. Uh, I hope that he. Well, he won't give me anything out. He doesn't owe me anything. I don't try to get a commission out of somebody, but I think Adam's a good guy and he'll set you straight on what you can get if you're wanting to get a route or a couple of routes down there. Adam's got the experience and he'll do good. And if you ever meet him, he's a little old boy. He's only about 6'7", probably. I don't know how much he's a big. He looks like he's as big as a lineman on any NFL team. I'll tell you that. He's a big old boy. Oh, I know it. And these taxes are not going to get these businesses back. I don't understand that. I mean, New York State and Massachusetts and all, they're taxing them to death. And when you tax the transportation and stuff going through, I mean, you're killing it. All right. Well, that's good, Mark. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Mark, I'm gonna have to make you hold on a second. I'm gonna give you a blue tool so I can see you in here. I'm gonna put you in here as a moderator. Now, the next time you see your name type up there, yours will be blue like the rest of the guys. That's my regular guys. That's moderators. That's people that come in here all the time. So a lot of these guys, I know you're probably wondering about that. So type something now, Mark, and you'll see your name will come up as a blue moderator there, and with the tool beside it. I'm sort of like Elon Musk. I got it verifiable that way, and but yeah, it's been a crazy week as far as all this Twitter stuff, like what we're talking about. I mean, I'm glad that that's coming out. And it's something that we all knew. All these people, there was no way in the world that all the conservatives were being throttled back and not having a voice out there without something being interfered or tinkered with in the background. Yeah, he's probably 6'5", 6'7", somewhere in there. He's a big boy. He's a big boy. Yeah, well, thank you, Mark. I appreciate you being in here. Get here on a regular basis and everything. I like having the moderators and the guy. And then when I look down, I know when I see all the blue names and everything, I know that that's the regular gang of guys that come in here all the time. And it's safe that way. I mean, you get a lot of you can sort of weed out the bad apples and everything. You'll get some bad apples in there that just try to put junk up and ask crazy questions or stuff like that. So and you'll get some guys trying to throw up porn, and anytime they see a live chat of some description, they try to abuse it sometimes. And by being a moderator, you got the opportunity to go in there and knock something out. If I didn't catch it and you caught it, you can kind of help me keep the channel clean too. Oh wow, I didn't know that, Kevin. I saw where you went to Colorado, but I didn't know anything about the theft or whatever. Now, who was it they caught stealing money? I haven't seen anything like that. But anytime there's a lot of money moving around, there's always a room for corruption. That's for sure. Yeah, I noticed that Christian Sienema, she from Arizona, that she moved to independent, and hopefully we could get some more moving away from the Democratic Party to keep them from having a majority in the Senate. Although she'll still side or probably still align herself somewhat with the Democrats, but that'll keep them from having 100% majority on the dockets that way. I didn't know about that. I didn't. That wasn't anything that Dion was involved with, was it? I mean, I haven't heard. I haven't. That just passed me by. I didn't see anything on that. I mean, I saw where he had left and gone to Colorado as a head coach. I mean, he really helped Jackson State. I know that for sure. I mean, they ended up 11-0, I think, didn't they, for the season? Yeah. Well, there's, like I said, anytime anything's high profile and a lot of funds come into things, there's always somebody that's usually in administration or something like that wants to get their sticky fingers in something and get something. You never know. I mean, there's too many corrupt people out there. And when they see major dollars coming in, So many of them feel like they can skim something off of it without being noticed. Yeah, I'm not. I like Deion Sanders. I think he's a good motivator. I've seen some of the motivational speakers speeches that he did and everything, and I thought he did a great job. And he, I think he was good. He was good for him while he was there. So I like seeing somebody that's energetic like that, and somebody that can, uh, bring a positive situation to a school that needed it. Now, whether they're corrupt or not, I don't know about that. Well, now when you get into driver turnover, it's tough and everything right now, Mark. I mean, it's hard to. I mean, if you're going to buy some routes, hopefully you can buy some routes that have some good stable drivers in the routes themselves. But um, across the nation right now, I don't care what carrier you're with, uh, the driver turnover is pretty bad. Pretty bad. I mean, drivers don't have the loyalty that they used to have. I mean, my dad worked for 38 years at Carolina Freight, and I worked at Carolina Freight a number about 10 or 12 years myself as a spare worker on the dock, and then a yard switcher, and then a local driver uh, combo with yard switching. And uh, it when I left, my dad, he really got upset with me because I left Carolina Freight, but I left because I felt like the opportunity would be better doing some other things. And whereas I'm glad I did, because I initially didn't get what I wanted, but 4 or 5 years later, I got on with RPS and FedEx and got back in the transportation business. And it was a good move for me because just probably about 5 or 6 years after I went into got on with RPS and FedEx, Carolina Freight got bought out, and then went to ABF and just totally decimated our town of Cherryville. We went from having 5,000 people employed in our small town at Carolina, mostly at Carolina Freight, down to about a third of that, and it decimated the town. Basically dried up. The retail businesses that used to flourish, had to struggle and everything else. So it was a bad scene. I'm glad I had moved away from Carolina Freight and went on to FedEx, and it was a good thing for me. And then, of course, then I stayed with FedEx for 34 years, so it all worked out. Yeah, it's you never know what's going to change like that. But yeah, I would love to see manufacturing get back in this area. Now we still have some, of course. Now my son, he had to change his job. That manufacturing plant, he used to be with Reliance Electric, and they got bought out. Well, they got bought out twice. They got bought out by Baldor, and then Baldor sold to ABB, and then ABB uh, did away with a lot of their plants. And then my son was able to go with the same company that used to have part of the Baldor, and he had to relocate a couple days a week. He goes down to Greenville, South Carolina now, as opposed to just Kings Mountain, which wasn't but about. He used to live about 10 miles from where he's work, and now twice a week he has to go to Greenville South, and the rest of the week he can telecommute. But he's an engineer, and his job can be done remotely. Thank goodness. and so he was able to maintain the same, well, a division of the same company. But yeah, manufacturing is going away. I mean, they did away with that. They had two manufacturing plants in Shelby, and they closed down both of them and moved them off to other locations across the United States and some overseas. ABB was a Swedish company, and they took some of it away down there. Well, I'm still getting in here good, guys. I'm not seeing the chat. The chat slowed down. Okay, now everything's still operational there. People slowing down a little bit. I don't want to. I don't want to completely dominate the conversation and everything. What else is on y'all's mind this morning? Oh man, I hate what happened in Georgia. They just that's what you get when you mail in your votes. I mean, the Democrat machine down there. I mean, you can look at Georgia. It's you can see if you saw the state. I mean, the county by county layout of it. Metro Atlanta dominates everything now. I mean, that's whatever Atlanta does is what happens to Georgia. It seems like. I mean, I would have thought that we'd had a better chance. I had it was a Parker. Gosh, was it worth it? Well, it was expensive, Kevin. That machine, that hydraulic machine I had, cost about 25,000. So it wasn't a cheap machine. If I'm not mistaken, it was about a $25,000 machine that did all the hydraulic hoses. So it's not a cheap proposition. I mean, of course, it did the great big ones too. It did hydraulic hoses that big, along with the regular smaller ones. So it wasn't just a one size fit all type thing. It did multiple type hoses. I mean, we did from the I think the Schedule 4 all the way to the gosh, I don't even know all the sizes myself, but it was a big hydraulic machine, and it was good though. I mean, I sold a lot of hydraulic hoses. They still do. That's a big part of their business is hydraulic hoses. I mean, you get these farmers and truck drivers and everybody else that need hoses. They like having those made up. That's for sure. I mean, you don't like the price of it, of course, because I mean the fittings. I mean, I had one of the things that I probably had $40,000 worth of inventory of nothing but fittings over there. I mean, you have to carry so many different fittings for every different application that you can think of, and because if you don't have those fittings, when a guy comes in and you can't make up his specific hose, then he's going to go somewhere else. So that was the bread and butter of it right there, was keeping all the fittings that you needed, and that's the tough part. And you've got to have the ones. There's some that are more popular than others, of course, but there is such a variety of hoses. I mean, because there's always somebody out there that some manufacturer somewhere along the line has built something special, and it has a special connector, and then you have to be the one that has to keep it. So it's tough. And then I had to go sometimes had to go to a specialty. I know I had some of my excavator hoses that went out, and I had to go to a guy in Gastonia, and I made up two hoses, and it cost me $800. So those hoses can be very expensive. I mean, but it's the fitting's what it is. I mean, you, if you don't have that certain fitting, can't even make it up. So it's not a cheap proposition getting into hydraulic hoses. I mean, if you want to do it, it's fine. But I'm wanting to say it was Parker was one of them, and there was something else. Um, I'm losing my train of thought right there because I wasn't the one that was actually doing it on a daily basis. I mean, gosh, what was some of those names? I can't think. I can't think, Kevin, but uh, yeah. Oh, you're going to move to Huntsville, Alabama? Is that where you're going to move to? Yeah. Well, doing hydraulics, I mean, if you want to do it, I mean, you get in an area where there's a lot of industrial stuff. I mean, people are always going to need hydraulic hoses, that's for sure. Long as we got heavy equipment out there. I mean, it's definitely a thing. It would be tough to be specialized in it. Uh, I mean, because I would hate to think that I would sit and wait for somebody needing a hydraulic hose, if you understand what I'm saying. I mean, we did it. It was a sideline within the business for us, although it was a good sideline. But I would hate to think that I had to hire somebody to sit around doing nothing but hydraulic hoses. I mean, they may sit there for 3 days and not do a hydraulic hose. So it's not. I mean, it's. I say that. Well, we probably did one or two every day over there, but and I'm in a small area anyway. If you're in a larger area, you could probably do better. I mean, I was in uh, there's only 5,000 people in my little small town. I mean, so you can imagine I got all the outlying farmers and truckers and everything else that would come through. But uh, generally speaking, I mean, I mean, like Gastonia, which is just, 15, 20 miles from here. Now they've got, what's the population of Gastonia? 70,000. You don't even know if it's that much. But anyway, it's probably 50,000. But I mean, that's still 10 times more than I am. So, you would want to be in an area that uh, needed your specialty if you were going to specialize. Oh, you're going to start selling used truck parts. Well, that would be a thing to add on to it. When you get into that, let me know. I got a bunch of used truck parts. I actually got some new truck parts. I got a bunch of things that when I sold out my Napa franchise that I didn't that wasn't compatible with a strictly Napa store. I had bought some other stuff, uh, third party, and I'd actually bought out another auto parts store that wasn't a Napa store. So I've got a lot of their parts still up here in one of my buildings. I mean, gosh, I hate to think how much I really have up there, but I got a lot, and I need to sell some stuff like that. I've got brake drums and brake shoes and uh, handshakes for trucks, some drums, just a lot of different things like that that I still have. And I've sold off a little bit here and there. Occasionally, I sold some stuff this past week, and so occasionally I'll sell a few things, but I'm not in the retail market, so I don't know. Oh me, well, guys, I'm about talked out this morning. If y'all have noticed, I'm kind of winded this morning. I'm getting my breath. I'm sort of short of breath right now, and I'm gonna hang it up this morning. I've been on here long enough. Uh, I don't know what you're talking about, Joey. Well, when you do that, Kevin, you give me a look. Well, I'm gonna try to. Y'all take care, and I'll catch all y'all later. My tool for wood. Oh, I got plenty of tools for woodworking. All right, guys. I'll catch you later. See ya. Whew.